Welcome to the channel, and hopefully my information helps you optimize your lifestyle. If you find the answers you're looking for, please consider giving a like and subscribing for future videos. I also run an integrative medicine practice where I help my patient athletes improve their lives by deploying the most appropriate actionable changes based on the newest reliable data. I formulate periodic nutrition, exercise, and mindful practice based on the individuals that seek my care. Remember, no two people are alike, and for that matter, no two treatment plans are alike. Thus, the information on my channel should not be a substitute for medical advice, so please take any questions to your doctor to see how it may be applied to your situation. Now on to the topic.
Hey everyone, it's Dr. Rick. I'm at the Hilton Garden in Las Colinas, Irving, California. I'm about to do a 5K. The 5K is going to be in temperatures that are hotter than I'm used to in Illinois. And I wanted to discuss hydration. If you've ever done a 5K, it'll probably take you, if you're a slow guy like me, 45 minutes or 30 minutes if you're cooking. During that 30 minutes, I'm going to try to drink fluid. I'll do it at the 15-minute mark, the 30-minute mark, and then towards the end. You know, it's such a short race that if you don't maintain hydration, it's not like you're gonna get to 3% dehydration. Usually when you get to like 2 to 3% dehydration, which is very subtle, you lose performance. You also have this perceived exertion that whatever you're doing is harder. So it's important to, in longer races or hotter days, to maintain hydration. That brings me to my first thing, coffee. This is from Panera Bread. Coffee is actually a diuretic. It is water that's mixed in with coffee bean, but it also acts as a diuretic, so you shouldn't be using that. I like Pellegrino's taste, carbonated water, so there's salt involved in that. The problem is you can't really take in large amounts of Pellegrino or any fluid quickly because it'll cause gastritis. To be careful that you space it out. If you can hydrate like I do before the race, I think that would be appropriate. If you have beer the night before, if you have coffee the morning of, you have to take that into account because alcohol is also a diuretic. If you are a sweater and you sweat a lot of salt, your rim of your hat will, especially if it's black, will show a lot of white lines, or you'll see a lot of white to wherever your sweat marks are on your clothing. That would be important to hydrate with salt. Noon is a supplement, it's a fizz tab. I think it gives it enough flavor, and it also gives it a healthy salt content. Your body weight divided by 30, 15 minutes. So my body weight's 150 divided by 30, is approximately 5. And if I do 5 ounces every 15 minutes, I'll be cool for the race. And this is obviously more than 5 ounces, but I'm bringing this to show you a point. If you want to get a hydration flask, these are kind of cool. Let me show you what this looks like again. They're not too overly binding, so you hardly notice it, and the water doesn't slosh around like keeping 2 gallons of water in your backpack. Think about hydration beforehand. Think about hydration during, and obviously you can't carry a bottle, but most long runs will have stations. 5Ks don't really put stations out, but as long as you remember at the end to at least do your body weight divided by 30 for every 15 minutes that you ran or had the experience. The Galpin formula, but if you also have temperatures that are above normal, if you sweat a lot, if you have salt, you'll have to estimate that. I think I'll do something with salt later.
Fastest mile, 10 minutes, 23 seconds. So getting faster. It wasn't really that hot. I don't know, it's about 80, but that perception changes in the face of dehydration, like I mentioned. They're giving these things out, really cool. Again, if you could do your body weight divided by 30, and then take that volume in ounces every 15 minutes.
Some people would look at that video and wonder, why would anybody want to have sweat, shortness of breath, agony? I have to tell you that when you look at disease in the long run, if I take care of somebody in the office or the hospital and I have to tell them, okay, we're doing this medicine for your blood pressure, we're doing this medicine for your diabetes, and we're doing this procedure or putting this thing in you or taking something out because it's not working right. In an emergency, you have no other choice except for the doctors that are in front of you to stop the suffering. in a lot of other diseases, disease states, metabolic syndrome, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, even rheumatologic disorders, or just plain old obesity and back pain. All those other things are non-life-threatening, so you don't have to go to the hospital. But it'll come in slow piecemeal. My biggest opportunity for reversing disease comes when you're not feeling anything. And that's really hard to motivate people. Running is sometimes the easiest thing you can do, especially when it's surrounded by an event or reminds you of childhood. Everybody get on the starting line, ready, set, go. That's kind of cool. The motivation has to be something cool and novel. The running community has been around since the 70s. Now, cycling is really a community, yoga is a community, CrossFit's a community. There's a lot of communities that are out there that are waiting for you to join up. Now, getting on a treadmill is really super boring. If you have one of these in your house, or you have one of those in your house, a Peloton, or you have weights back there, I bet you haven't probably touched them in a while. Some of you are very meticulous and you go through them, but then I have a critique that you're not doing it the right way. Regardless, having the equipment is great. Using it is a challenge. And that's where I think if you engage a goal, short-term and long-term, the long-term goal is get you off of medicines, avoid the procedures, and don't have anything taken out of your body or implanted in your body. And then the planning has to be done in daisy chains where we give you one goal, then the next goal, then the next goal. I think starting with a 5K is really important. You don't have to be a runner, you don't have to compete, but if you have a little bit of a carrot, it moves you forward. There's a dopamine hit that you get, and you cross the finish line, you hear everybody call out your name, and you get a reward. Dopamine is a hormone that you make that moves you forward. It gives you engagement to say, let's do it again. The body will also release endorphin and enkephalin, those hormones that you release with exercise. And there's a hope molecule. It gives the midbrain and the frontal brain acknowledgement that this is good. You have to do this again, and it makes you feel good. Begin the winter with a Thanksgiving Day run, and then I'll begin the spring with the Shamrock Shuffle. It's an 8K. It's the largest gathering of an 8K. And you can build up to those things, not just drop in and get hurt. How would I build up? You'll walk about 15 minutes, then you jog 15 minutes, and you'll walk 15 minutes, and you jog 15 minutes. You do that for an hour, you build up within 1 month, walking, running. I think that's fair. How do you start? You just lock your door, go one direction around your block, and you time yourself for 15 minutes. Then you turn around and you go back for about 2 weeks. The next 2-week block, you'll walk faster or farther, and it'll be easy. By the time you've done 2 months, you can build up to the point where you hit 3.2 miles. Once you hit 3.2 miles, you are now a 5Ker. And if you can do enough 5Ks, you can start entertaining other options, like hiking with me at altitude, taking a hike in your local forest preserve with a backpack, it's called rucking, or you go onto a 10K, an 8K, a half marathon, or you now start to ride bikes, or you get into a CrossFit class. All these things are supposed to open up opportunities where you challenge your muscles with that sweat, the shortness of breath, the agony that you see in the face. But after that, there's such a great release of hormone and happiness that you live in and thrive with for a short time until the next time. If you have medical disease, you have to get clearance from your doctor or me first. I will always use things that can enhance and speed up and facilitate you getting to the next level. This is something called a peptide stimulator. I'll be talking about that soon, but it shortens or enhances the healing time. And that's what I want to do, is exercise will enhance your longevity and the length of time you're on this earth without disease, intervention, or medical suffering. But there's ways to get that faster and achieve it easier. And I'll talk about that in my YouTube channel later on. So please consider subscribing if you haven't. Even if you're not interested, if you know anybody else that is suffering or on their journey, please share with them this video.